even though I said you could have the next night,
I knew it.
It was like, oh God, like I just don't want to do this again. Like I don't want to be solo again and do bedtime alone again. Like I didn't sign up for this.
You're hiding it. You're not. Just like I'm not hiding it either.
Yeah.
Right? I can pick up on your cues. I can read your body language. I'm not dumb.
I feel like I wasn't upset. It was just like, it's just like a feeling that I feel like it's just like stuck in my body that I just cannot like release.
Don't judge yourself for it. I can see why 67% of divorces are initiated by the wife.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
You know, it's hard to take a marriage that hasn't been working and try to create something different. Mm-hmm. It takes two people being vigilant and willing to fight for something bigger than what they have, being willing to let go of all the pain and the hurt and the frustration. And I find myself so many times just recently knowing that you and I are in the best place that we've ever been in our marriage, yet there's so many reminders of walking through that door into the kitchen and just seeing the look on your face after me being in Dana Point for a week, knowing that you're just on edge, you're angry and you're frustrated because you've been solo parenting for so long. And I know that's the old version of us. And I don't ever feel that from you. But there is this piece of me as we start to grow and expand our relationship and we start to do things differently, where even though we're operating here, there's these old pieces and old versions of us and these old stories that honestly just, they kind of mess with my head. Mm-hmm. And, you know, you are very encouraging of me going out and doing things for myself. Mountain biking, time with my friends, going out to dinner on Friday night, getting away, going for a run, going on trips. You're so supportive. Yeah, I feel like every time that I go and do that, like going mountain biking, I'm there and there's this like, oh dude, I'm gonna go home, she's gonna be pissed. Mm-hmm. And it's never that. I'm never welcomed with that. But I feel like if I don't let that go, mm-hmm. I'm never gonna be able to fully step into this new era mm-hmm. of who we are.
Yeah.
And so when you tell me, hey, go do these things, do you mean it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because you always come back as like a better version of yourself. And I've noticed for myself when I feel just like tension in my body and energy that I have to like release, whether it be through like dance or meditation or like lifting really heavy, I bring in that energy into the house, and I feel like it's just a different type of like feeling. And so I know what that's like for me, and I know your outlets are mountain biking, being outside, being with your friends, getting out to do something for yourself. And so the sooner you can get into that state, I know that when you come back, things will be different and like a little bit lighter and more fluid. And so I want to give you that like time and space to be able to do that mm-hmm. and know that like it'll also be returned this time.
Yeah, and I think sometimes when I walk in and I hear the boys crying, mm-hmm. there's like this immediate just like trigger inside of me. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, fuck, here we go. We're about to get into it. There's about to be another fight. There's going to be you and I here at bath time pretending everything's fine, even though inside we're both fuming and we're trying to put on these fake smiles for the kids while we read Steam Train Green Pain for the 14th time in a row, mm-hmm. right? Or mm-hmm. the Treehouse Town. And I'll just, there's been so many times where we're just laying in bed and I'm here with Luke in my lap and you're next to me with Enzo in your lap and I'm reading the book, but the tension, you could cut it with a knife. Mm-hmm. And I'm just, yeah, I don't even know if I want to call it fear, but that's what it feels like.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's like we have to release whatever we're like still holding on to from the past version of us, to be able to have like more freedom and more joy and more peace. Because yeah, I mean, there's sometimes, when like in the mornings when I'm trying to make breakfast, and sometimes I'll set like a 15-minute timer for myself to be able to empty the dishwasher and make breakfast for me and the boys. And sometimes that works out within the 15-minute time window, and then sometimes it doesn't because I'm like going to break up like a fight or and those climbing on the table, because that's what they do as like young kids and all that. And so all of a sudden 15 minutes is now like 30 minutes. And so then I get frustrated because I didn't hit that 15-minute goal. And now like we're going to be running a little bit like tighter, to get to our activity or get to the gym or wherever we're going. And so sometimes like internally I notice for myself like this, like a little bit of tension, a little bit of stress, a little bit of an overwhelm, some like annoyance as well. And like I don't want to bring that to the home, but if I notice it within myself, then obviously it's probably showing up with you. Yeah. And so maybe that's part of like also what you feel, and I have to work on just like giving myself grace or starting earlier, or whatever that looks like.
Yeah, and I also think there's just this piece of that's just the suppression of your feelings, and that's not what I'm asking for. I'm not asking you to be perfect and happy and plastic Barbie all the time. That's not what I'm saying. Mm-hmm. What I'm saying is that there's this piece of like walking into a home and you are allowed to feel however you're feeling, mm-hmm. but communicate, this is what's bothering me. It has nothing to do with you.
Yeah.
And I think for me, a lot of times, I know a lot of guys go through this too. They're like, dude, my wife's just being like, she's just angry. I just come in, she's angry all the time. I'm like, but did you ask her if she's angry at you or just a situation? Mm-hmm. Because we read it as like, I messed up again. It's on me. Yeah. When in reality, that's not the case. Mm-hmm. So I'm not saying, hey, you need to hide your emotions and, not be all of you. I'm just saying, I'm going to from here on out, because here's the thing, what the root cause of this all is. There's times where I will ask you if something's wrong, and you'll say everything is fine, and it's a lie. And then it comes that I already know it's a lie. You know it's a lie. You're trying to tell me it's not the case. And then we end up in a dumb fight on the way to church about something that we could have just talked about earlier when you said it was fine, instead of just having the conversation of like, hey, I don't want to talk about this now, but something did bother me. I will come to you when I'm ready. Mm-hmm. Or it wasn't fine. Or that way when you do say it's fine, it is actually fine. Mm-hmm. And I think that's why a lot of times when I say I don't trust you, it's not that I don't trust you. It's that when you say, hey, go do this, I don't trust that that's what you actually mean, because it feels like it's wrapped in the fine container.
Gotcha. Yeah. I think it also comes with like me learning my limits too.
Yeah.
And like not sabotaging myself, because I feel like I kind of did that last week. And so I guess all that to say is like, it's not on you either. Like, I feel like it's on me too.
So, it's on both, but I'm sure listen, if there's no doubt that if I'm going through this and I'm experiencing this, mm-hmm. where there's this old story and narrative, and then there's this new paradigm we've created. If I'm experiencing this, I guarantee you are too in some way.
Definitely.
Okay, where?
But sometimes I have this fear that like I'm making everything about myself. Okay, which is like another thing I guess that we could talk about.
What do you mean?
I feel like I kind of sabotaged myself last week when we had a crazy busy week. Like, you were gone 2 nights. We had another event with some friends who were moving away, and then I also made so many cupcakes and a cake and stuff, to celebrate our niece's birthday. And so that was like 4 nights of just like so many things. And it was also the week that we decided to try something new, where we rotate who gets to do bath night. And so you were gone 2 nights. I got like 1 night, and then the next morning and whatnot to finish my cupcakes and stuff. And part of me felt like, even though I said you could have the next night,
I knew it
was like, oh God, like I just don't want to do this again. Like, I don't want to be solo again and do bedtime alone again. Like, I didn't sign up for this. And so like, even though I was doing it, and like me and the boys had like so much fun, honestly, like truthfully, we had so much fun, but like in my body, and I've noticed this for myself in another situation which I can talk about, but like I've just noticed for myself that there's like deep in my body and in my brain, there's like this thing that's like, God, like, why?
You
Like,
were the
why
one,
do you
you
get
were the one who came up with the rules.
I know, and that's why it's so like messed up, and like
I-
how
I-
I kind of like sabotage myself.
But you are proving my point exactly. What I just said. My fear. Go do this thing. I think it's a good idea. And then everything inside of you when I come home is telling a completely different story.
But I didn't feel like I was like that when you got back last week.
I felt it.
Really?
Yes.
But like I sat with you on the couch and we talked about like how all of your events went.
Yeah. But I could tell you were off. I can tell. You're hiding it. You're not. Just like I'm not hiding it either.
Yeah.
Right? I can pick up on your cues. I can read your body language. I'm not dumb.
I know, but like how messed up is it for me to like say that you could go do this thing and then like be not like I feel like I wasn't upset. It was just like it's just like a feeling that I feel like is just like stuck in my body that I just cannot like release.
So don't judge yourself for it. And you are. Like you're just guilt and shaming yourself all over the fucking place right now. And if we were to just unpack it a little bit, you went a full year of solo parenting, multiple times a month. And so that was ingrained in you and ingrained in you and ingrained in you and ingrained in you. And so you tie this, I'm doing bath time by myself, to this is gonna be for the next week and a half.
Yeah.
But that's not true. And so part of the work is like, okay, if we're gonna create this new thing, as I say this, one, I have to mean it and it's integrity.
Yes, I know.
So we can't say something and then be like, but I wish he wasn't doing it, but I already said it.
Yeah.
You know, so we can't say something and then not mean it. And at the same time, just recognize that this is a thing that's gonna hold you back and me back from the relationship. No different than if I operated from a place of like, okay, if every time I leave, Lizzie's just gonna be upset, so I'll just stay at home instead and I won't go hang out with my friends and I won't do the things that make me happy, all I'm gonna have is resentment towards you. And this is where a lot of men and women live. They don't wanna let go of this old relationship and this old way of doing things to create something new. Because even as they do, they feel like they're caught in the old thing, so why even try?
Yeah. Well, even as we did like the bath time swap last week, I was like, why are we doing this? Like, you know, like it's just easier if we can just do it together. And then I was like, well, change is just hard in the beginning and it feels like not normal. And so...
Remember how hard it was to count macros in the beginning?
Yeah.
Yeah, remember how hard it was to wake up early because you used to be like a night owl? Caw-caw! That's not what I was like. But you know what I'm talking about? Yeah, I don't know what that was.
I don't know.
Caw-caw? It's like the other day I was doing heavy squats and RJ asked me to name the 7 dwarfs and I said Docky.
I saw that.
Yeah, and all I could think about was docking, which if you're on here, don't Google that.
I don't know what that means.
Yeah, well, don't Google that. Right? But it's just this, we got talking about birds. I don't even know what the hell we're talking about. Talking about owls and birds.
How change is hard.
Oh, and change is hard. You know, it takes time. Just when we started doing our new schedule, Tuesday mornings and Friday mornings, that was hard too.
I know, and I feel like I just have to be very intentional with how I plan out my week. And I have found myself getting very overwhelmed with just like this to-do list that I keep of like the laundry that needs to be folded or like the backpacks that need to be ordered and the shoes the kids need for school and like all these like open tabs in my brain. Or like you asked me about the broken humidifier up there that I'm trying to get support to like replace. And it's just been on my to-do list, but I haven't done it yet. And so it's just like finding the time to do that stuff.
And this is what I was...
But also finding the time to like actually reset and not do tackle my enormous to-do list, because then I just feel overwhelmed and stressed, and then you feel it when I say you can go, but I'm like, well, I still have so much to do.
So then why do you keep add more stuff to your list instead of handling what you already have? Because every time you do, you put stress and tension on the whole family.
Because it's never ending. It's never ending.
But why, But why make cupcakes? Why make cupcakes and cakes if you knew?
Because I already committed to it.
That's what I'm saying. Why do we continue to overcommit?
I got like all of this because like how can I plan for that? How can I plan?
Can you make cakes? No. Why? I don't have time.
She asked me like a month ago.
Okay. That was not the right move.
Sorry.
Sorry. A little 3D action for you, like an IMAX. But here's what I'm saying: like old patterns can continue to contribute to us not moving forward. Old stories hold us back in this old way, even though we're trying to build something new.
But yet we've moved forward, and it feels very, very different. But I think like internally, there's just still these moments and things that we're trying out to do differently that still like invoke those old feelings and
something that
old wounds.
Something that comes up for me, right, is when I'll be working and I hear the kids screaming, and then I feel guilty for not coming upstairs to help cook dinner and like get everything ready, even though that wasn't what we had agreed to that day. So then I come upstairs and I start helping, even though you haven't asked me to help. And then because I'm out of integrity with what I committed to doing, now there's anger and resentment towards you that you didn't even create. I was creating it myself. Right. And before you know it, now we're at like going like this, and then the kids are feeling it. And it's all because I overcommitted myself and I said I was going to do one thing, but I did the other thing because I'm operating out of my own integrity. There's one thing that you've continued to say: I need to stop doing so much, but you don't stop doing so much.
I don't know how to solve it.
I mean, that's BS. I know you have a lot. I'm not saying you don't have a lot. I'm not saying I don't appreciate what you do. That's not what I'm saying.
Well, I guess I've just taken on some things that were formerly off of my plate just to like help out.
And I appreciate that. And at the same time, right, I know that I can't overload my schedule, because if I do and I burn myself out at work, running a business, who's going to suffer? Me. Besides me, you, and the boys. Oh, I'm trying to build a business. I got to work harder and do all this. It's like, yeah, we've already played that game, and it burned everything to the ground. So yeah, you're right. I can work harder and hustle more and stay up late and put in the time and do the work and call it a season. And before you know it, we're just back in the same spot. So what have I had to do? Mondays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays, sales calls, coaching calls. Tuesdays, Fridays, buffer days, content creation, administrative stuff, finances. Why? So that I don't burn myself to the ground and then have a wake of trauma in my own home. It's me creating intentionality in my life, looking at the entire picture.
Yeah.
I got to keep my business in mind and understand how it impacts my wife and my kids. I have to keep my wife and kids in mind. I say that like you're not my wife. My wife and kids in mind, knowing that I have to manage this so that it doesn't bleed into the business. Or if it does, it's good energy, and they're both just like symbiotic, because the reality is that's what it is.
Yeah.
But this is what we call self-sabotage. I'm self-sabotaging every time I come home thinking that you're mad. You're self-sabotaging every time you stack your calendar.
Pretty much. I guess I'm still learning to say no to things.
It's hard.
It's because sometimes like I truly want to do it, but everything changes in a week where like I feel like I can try and think through some things as much as I want to, but at the end of the day, like some things just change, or some things come up and some things just don't pan out, and then like this event get together is happening, or then this like Bible study comes up, and it's like, okay, well, we're gonna go do this and this now, but I still have to do this because I committed to this, and so how am I going to be able to still get this done while we also have more things going on, you know? And so I don't know.
It's the same issue you're facing right now in an area of your life that you've put off for a very long time. Same thing with me. It's an unwillingness to have a hard conversation. Hey, I appreciate that. We can't do that this week. Not that I'm telling you what to do or you're telling me what to do, but it's like, hey, listen, I understand that you want to, go ride your mountain bike for the second time this week. Here's the reality of it. We have a ton of stuff we got to get done, because next weekend we're up in Grand Lake, or in 2 weeks you're going to Chile, or whatever it may be.
Yeah.
And it's having a straightforward conversation, because at the end of the day, you just want to be liked. I do too. I want to be liked too.
I think it's more often than not, like, I just want to believe that I can handle it by myself.
But we've proven that we can't.
I know, but it's hard to break when it's part of like my identity. Like, I was looking at my Enneagram results again, and I scored like 2 points difference between a number 9 and a number 4. And a number 4 is the individualist, which means like I think that I can do everything by myself, but I can't.
So, yeah.
And so that explains, like, thinking back to it, it explains how much and why we struggled so much in the beginning of becoming parents, because I became stay-at-home mom and thought that I could do everything that like this traditional stay-at-home mom does, and yet I was just drowning myself.
So, okay, that is fair. I buy into all of that, and I agree with you, right? And here's the thing. Everybody's got this core belief about themselves. One of the core beliefs that has come up for me recently is I'm not worthy. I don't even know where this started. I have an idea of where it started, but it becomes this lens that I see the world through. And so when I get on a sales call and somebody says no, it's confirmation that I'm not worthy of them coming in. When I go out and ride my bike and I come back and you're angry, it's I'm not worthy of having fun without having to pay the price. And so your core belief will constantly, this is my understanding, will constantly try to prove it right. So you have these expectations of what it should be, and then when you fail from the expectations, it just confirms the core belief. And then you have these new expectations, and it confirms the core belief. What does this look like? I can do everything, but you can't. And then it just confirms that you can't do everything. And then you feel what? Guilt, shame, unworthiness. And so I understand that this is your identity. And I also understand that you can be vigilant with creating something different. Because is that statement true? Are you not worthy?
No.
No, it's not true. It's complete BS. And it was imprinted on us. So yeah, you can accept, this is my identity. But if you're constantly finding yourself in anger, fear, frustration, doubt, rage, irritation, guilt, shame, any of those things, that's just your core belief being like, hey, told you. And so what have I had to do over the last few weeks? Every time I get a no on a sales call, which I've gotten plenty in the last two weeks, I have to remind myself that I am worthy. These are just not the right people.
Yeah.
And so you have to be vigilant against this thing. Or else it'll just be like, hey, remember when I told you you're not worth enough? Yeah, got you again.
Right. Well, and that's why too, like, even though I was feeling these things inside of myself last week when you were at your events twice last week, I was just like, just handle your shit. We're not going to fall back into these old patterns of like starting a fight that like we can't get out of for like days, because we're just not those people anymore.
And that's not your identity. The real question is, when I get there, I'm like, is this true? No, it's not true. Well, then I'm not going to subscribe to this anymore.
Right.
Is it hard? Yeah, it's really hard because it's been in there for so long, and it wants to be right, and it wants to be right, and it wants to be right.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Are there any other places where you feel like we've made this change and our external world looks different, but internally it's just like there's this tether?
I noticed it for myself too, and I think we talked about it on like an old podcast. The other times that I've noticed for myself, like these internal feelings of like stressed, overwhelmed, frustration, and like a little bit of like resentment too, is when you still travel and go on these trips. It's like my body again just wants to go back into the place that we were last year when I was just solo parenting the entire, like, for so long. And even though it's happening like so much less than it was last year, and like you're around and you're present and our relationship is different, we're more connected, all the things, it's still just like, it's like I just jump back into like these old ways of being a little bit more like short fused, because I'm on my own for a few days or whatever that looks like.
I know, I felt it in Toronto.
Yeah.
I'll probably feel it again when I go to Chile.
Yeah.
And here's the thing, I used to buy, I don't have another word, but buy into it. I just won't play that game anymore. If you want to live there, you can live there. I know I'm a good dad. I know I'm a good husband. I know I show up. And it doesn't mean you can't feel that way. But it's also part of this where you just have to be aware of it, right? Because these it's interesting because no matter how much our external world looks different and feels different, and it is, from dating to connection to sex life to intimacy to quality time to memories with the boys, as much as that has changed, when stress compounds and self-betrayal happens and we're out of integrity enough, we're always going to revert to the old ways, and the stories that haven't been dealt with will drive the actions that just lead us in the same pattern.
Right.
So we can't get out.
Yeah.
And even though we've done an incredible job of moving forward, which I'm really proud of you and proud of me, just talking about this, because I didn't know where this was going to go, but just talking about these, it's our own internal work to help relieve these tethers to this past version of us that has to be done, or else we're just going to stay stuck.
Yeah. Yeah. Are there any more triggers that you've...
No, I mean, I wasn't going to go mountain biking later today after this, but then I was like, dude, I have to go. And so that was coming up again. Like there was a little bit of like, I don't know if I should, but it's like, I'm going to go. I'll be back by dinner time. I'll help with bath time so you don't have to do it solo again. Even though you're like, hey, it's your night. It's fine. I'm going to do it Friday night instead, right? You got last night, I'm going to take Friday night. And so, no, I don't think there is any. It's just an awareness of this. And I think that's the very first stage. And this is why I feel like most couples don't want to change, because it's hard.
Yeah.
It's, hey, we have to create this new version of us that feels awkward at first, and there's a lot of resistance until we create it. And then we have to go back and we have to clean up all the stuff and put it to rest and put it away and heal it, and then we can move forward.
Yeah. It almost like feels wrong in the beginning. And like the old way is just the easier way, even though you know it's like not the right way.
It's the comfortable way. It's what you're aware of.
It's the comfortable way for sure.
And inevitably, if that's not what you want, you have to rattle the cage. Yeah. So, listen, we are not perfect. In fact, we're the furthest thing from perfect. We have fights. Sometimes we scream in front of our kids. We say hurtful things to each other from time to time. But the majority of our relationship is understanding, love, empathy, a lot of connection, and just a desire to be curious. So if you find yourself in a place where you're struggling and you feel like you and your wife are just like continuing to have the same fight, or you can't get out of this pattern, I would encourage you to just sit down and ask each other one simple question. What do you think that question is?
What's going on?
Yeah, what's going on? What do you want? What do you want this to be like? And then once you have that, I'm telling you what, then it just becomes a game of let's create it. Because this doesn't exist without us doing this. So I'm proud of you.
Proud of you.
All right. Come follow her on Instagram at Lizzie Ray, me at Sergio Nazaro. Leave us a review, 5 stars or whatever it is. If you think this was great, a 1 star. If you don't like it, share this with another couple or with a friend. Until next time, take care.
Peace.
Peace.
We don't scream at our kids anymore.
Yeah, we don't scream at our kids. We used to.
No.
No, scream in front of our kids.
Oh, we don't do that anymore.
We haven't in a long time.
A long time.
Yeah. This is like the postscript. Behind the scenes.
Behind.
Yeah. Well, we don't really. Sometimes we like yell at our toddler when he's like doing something crazy. I'm like, Luca, stop! And then I feel like a jerk for doing it.
Well, most of the time I feel like it's because like he's gonna get hurt.
That's
and
true.
It's like this urgency that just like comes out.
Yeah.
And
Fair.
other times it's like you're going to break that.
Yeah, that's
Please
fair.
don't.
Okay, fair.